we are about a week away from the opening of the Flash movie, a long anticipated Flash movie with yes, it have Ezra Miller in it, and we all know how that's going, but still, we're about a week away from it. We've gotten trailers. I think they put out the 2 trailers by now, came out for it. When I first saw the first trailer, I thought like, okay, yeah, this looks interesting. I especially liked Michael Keaton back as Batman. They've been heavily promoting that while keeping Ezra Miller and his craziness far to the back. I was like, okay, it's possible this movie could do really good, and I still think it will make some money. I do think that the Flash movie is going to make some money. However, what's out there is not so looking so promising according to certain analysts. This article here. Ezra Miller's The Flash and Pixar's Elemental encounter box office headwinds. Now, as for Pixar and the Elemental, I don't know much about this movie. They haven't really promoted it well. I don't know. I'm really not interested in seeing it, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think I have no interest in seeing it whatsoever. If it comes out on streaming and I get a chance to watch it sometime down the road, maybe, but I'm not running it down to go and see it. I'm really not interested in that. But this is what they say here. Early trackings show the Flash opening to a soft 70 million at the domestic box office, while Elemental is pacing for just 40 million. The 2 summer tentpoles opened June 16th. Now, as they say here, Flash opening for 70 million domestic. I think internationally it will most likely be higher, but let's get into this article and see what they have to say. Okay. The Flash, starring Ezra Miller in the titular role, is pacing to open in the 70 million range. According to sources who have access to tracking data, box office insiders say that's a soft number for a movie, and that's been heavily promoted by Warner Brothers Discovery as the best superhero film of all time. Others note that a movie's hold once it opens is more important than the opening weekend gross. I would disagree there, because I think both are important. Because if a movie when a movie opens well, it means that people are excited to see it. If it has a massive opening, it means people are excited to see it. Now, if the movie's good, word of mouth starts to spread, and then the whole comes in and it really starts to ramp up. And some people look at what happened with Super Mario Brothers. That had a strong opening, word of mouth spread about how good the movie was, and it continued to rise. So it was, it's important that it has a good opening gross. It's also important that it has a good hold. So I would have to disagree with them there, but in that. All right, in late April, The Flash was the toast of CinemaCon. It's the best superhero movie I've ever seen, WBD CEO David Zaslav told theater owners before they were shown the film in full. The pick opens after a tumultuous 2022 for Miller, who was arrested multiple times and was the subject of controversies culminating in the actor issuing a statement in August of last year apologizing for their behavior. Ezra Miller this whole they-them crap, and saying they would receive help for complex mental health issues. I mean, okay, there's no denying that Ezra Miller has been a massive thorn in the side of WB for this crazy. And there has to come a point in time when people are going to say, you know what, they've just had enough of his shit and it's time for him to go. They should have done that a long time ago. But as I've stated before, they bent over backwards to accommodate Ezra Miller because of his privilege. You know what I mean? Once you can run around and tell everybody you have they, them pronouns and you identify that they do everything possible to accommodate you. He has been arrested multiple times. He was driving around wearing a bulletproof vest and armed because the FBI was trying to kill him. He's been grooming children, all kind of madness, all kind of things that have been documented. People have been bending over backwards to that. When I did videos about his craziness, people actually commented about how, oh, there's no proof for that, and I was like, there's plenty proof. I'm telling you, it's right here. He's been arrested for this. Got a slap on the wrist and walked away. Meanwhile, we have Jonathan Majors. He got into this thing with his girlfriend or whatever stuff, and it was alleged, he called the cops and all kind of thing. People went out of their way to try and cancel him. They kept finding reason to try and destroy him, but not Ezra Miller. No. He's got that privilege. Let's continue on. Miller stars in dual roles as the alternate timeline versions of heroic speedster Barry Allen, with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck making a splashy return of their respective Batman roles. In Keaton's case, it's a return to a character he hasn't played since 1991. And I think a lot of people are really, myself especially, wants to see this movie because of Michael Keaton most of. Sasha Calle stars as Supergirl. I don't really think anybody really cares. I mean, in the thing she looked okay. I mean, when people were like, come on, this is not the Supergirl that they were expecting to see, but you know what they were doing. With Michael Shannon reprises his role of General Zod from the 2013 feature Man of Steel. He actually came on and said he don't even know why Zod is actually in this movie, but alright. After the tepid showing of Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and Black Adam, Warner's DC movies could use a box office hit. At the same time, The Flash is one of the final films left over from the previous regime. The studio is now run by James Gunn and Peter Safran, who intend to relaunch the label with Gunn's Superman legacy. Okay, now let me just point out something here. Let me just point out a few things here. I want to go through this. Okay, is The Flash going to flop? I don't know. Maybe it might, but I think it's going to do some good numbers overseas, but that may not last. I could be wrong. However, I think the reason these things are happening could be boiled down to a few things. Let me just go through them quickly as possible. First up, I don't think people will most likely be like, why invest in this movie is not going anywhere? Because like they said, the previous DC movie universe is done. They've cancelled that. They've moved on. Flash is one of the few movies left. I mean, the only thing left after Flash is Aquaman, and nobody's really all that interested in that whatsoever. This movie could be this Flash movie could all be fantastic, but do people really care about it? Not necessarily, because there's nothing to hold on to. Where is it going after this? We don't know. Will it end up resetting the entire universe? Maybe, but then at the end of the day, does anybody care anymore? No. As for Ezra Miller, yes, people are going to have a problem with it, but the vast majority of people, unless you're really plugged into this, have no idea who Ezra Miller is and what craziness he's been up to. There's some people who won't go because they don't support what he's doing. Okay, but the vast majority of people don't really know or care about Ezra Miller. You understand me? I think what has happened also, and really, the MCU has to take some blame for it, because, okay, the MCU is a completely different universe from DC universe, a completely different thing. However, you have to remember that the MCU kind of set the standard for superhero movies in this day and age. And ever since Phase 4, their quality has dropped to piss-poor levels. And Warner Brothers, in their infinite wisdom, decided to try and follow them down that doomed hole. They were looking to do everything possible to appeal to whatever. I mean, if you look at the early iterations of the DCEU universe, it was dark, it was gritty, it was grey, it was crap, really. I mean, yes, I like Man of Steel. I like certain parts of Man of Steel, but I've said before, it was too dark, too gritty. It should have been better. Henry Cavill, fantastic actor. He just played the role that he got. Okay. Then they rushed to Batman v Superman. That made no sense. Then they rushed to a Justice League movie. I mean, the Snyder Cut is still the only Justice League movie I consider to be a Justice League movie. But other than that, there was no build-up for it, because they were trying to match pace with the MCU. That took time to build up. Had they actually done it like the actual comics, the way people wanted to, DC could have well surpassed the MCU, but they didn't. And when the MCU started to go bad, they decided to follow them. So they ended up in this nonsense, and they have nobody to blame for it but themselves. So the MCU quality has dropped. DC quality dropped along with it. And people are just kind of checking out now. Had the MCU decided, like, okay, at the end of Endgame, they said, you know what, we're going to take a little 5, maybe 7 or 10 year hiatus, come back with some new actors, do some new stories, okay. No, they decided to keep beating a dead horse, and it has not been paying off for them at all. You've got this Flash movie coming out here now, and people may not be all that interested in it based on what they've already gotten. And then what do you have next? Aquaman, and nobody cares about that whatsoever. People are like, I might watch it, I might not watch it, I really no business. That is it. And then people figure out, which I don't have much high hopes for James Gunn directing Superman Legacy. I really don't. Could be wrong, it could turn out to be a fantastic movie, but I don't really have much hope for it. That's just me. But it's looking like, as they say, the Flash might flop domestically in the American market, well, in the North American market, but I think internationally it could make some money. Is it going to hit $1 billion? I don't think so, but there is some traction there for it, and I think it could make some money overseas, and it might pick up. You know, if that's happened, good word of mouth spread, that could happen. But overall, the comic book movie market has gotten really bad lately because they keep putting out the worst garbage possible instead of actually looking to put out really good stuff. And like I say, MCU is leading the charge down that rabbit hole, and if DC Studios decides to follow them, well, then they have nobody to blame for it but themselves. But we will see what happens with the Flash when it comes out, God willing. I will go and check it out and give you a review of what my thoughts are on this movie. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, so they hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the notification bell, notified every time I put out a new video, and I shall see you all next time. Take care.